Talk to him.
Classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Whether the winters were left in the cold. Moving forward, man, we live. So we getting off into the we're gonna start off with the reaction video, man. We're gonna slide straight over to the reaction video. Let me get that pulled in real quick. Let me get that pulled in right quick. And I found the reaction channel. Shout out to Godly. I'll put the link to that in the description video. But I found the reaction channel that got the audio for it because I tried to find it on Cam page, but the interview is like 2 hours and some change. So I wasn't about to listen to all of the pandering for 2.5 hours just to get to this one part. So I found the audio, y'all. So we're gonna roll with that. Let me pull it in. Let me pull it in for y'all. Yep. Here we go. All right, y'all, let's check it out.
That's the conversation I wanted to raise today. But I'm gonna let you guys listen to the clip and then I'll come back on the other side.
A lot of heterosexual men don't like women for real. They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what a woman is outside of her sexual organs. So then when we get into why a lot of men womanize, or why it's just they're minimizing a woman based off of who she slept with or who she potentially can sleep for, it because it's like you haven't gained the appreciation of the wholeness of a woman yet and what that wholeness of a woman can bring to your life. A lot of times we'll talk about strength and we'll say men are stronger than women, but that's because we value physical strength. We're not talking about emotional strength, spiritual strength. Yeah. We're not talking about the type of strength that can run a household. And we're not putting that same type of weight. And what I would encourage, and this was the shift that I had to do, is I had to start liking the wholeness of a woman outside of sex. And then when you do that, now you appreciate the things a complete woman can bring to your life. When we talk about the Bible talks about finding a capable wife, right? That capable wife, that person that if you was to stumble, can pick up the ball and start running. And there's a lot of men that have just a wife because they was only concerned about what she can do in the bed. Yeah. And so what I'm just encouraging men to do is just like, and it's for our own benefit, because a lot of us, especially men with some type of means, we end up finding a dependent, not a partner.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go back a little bit and we're gonna break this down. So I'm gonna just keep letting it run. All right, I'm gonna go back. We're gonna break this down. Let's roll.
Yeah, she can fuck us good. But if you was able to stumble, bro, what the fuck is gonna happen with your family? And so I just encourage men to be, I'm not gonna say more because that's unrealistic to a lot of men, but as attracted to what she brings as a feminine energy to your life outside of just what you're doing in between.
Check this out. So to that point.
And myself, I mean, I believe that myself.
All right. So this, like I said, this audio is from a reaction channel. So she must be about to give her 2 cents, but I'm gonna start it back from where his audio began. But so far though, per usual, a lot of pander language. Ace Metaphor, one of the most successful panderers on the internet. I support, you know, his business. I like tonight's conversation as a podcast, or at least the original one. I haven't seen them in their new form, but I went to tonight's conversation live in Chicago last year sometime. You know what I mean? It was a good show. So, you know, I'm happy for him. You know, that doesn't mean I have to agree with him at all, but I'm happy for him. I've supported his brand and his business. I have a couple decks of cards here in my studio. So, you know what I mean? Salute to him and for being a successful black man running a business for sure. But again, just because all of that is true don't mean I have to agree with him. A lot of pandering here. He did say some things that are agreeable though. The parts I agree with in regards to falling in love with something other than the sexual aspect of a woman is very important. But that's what makes me want to ask, because again, he's one of the best panderers on the internet. So that's what makes me want to ask, you know, what group or what crop or populace of the manhood or the brotherhood are you talking about? What archetype of a man are you talking about? Because I don't know. Personally, I don't know a lot of men, or even in my algorithm, see a lot of men who don't value women at all beyond physical. I don't know that to be true. Like I can't say I agree with him that that's a norm amongst men, that we only value the physical aspect of women. So even like what his whole monologue is based off of, I don't agree with. So it's like from there, I can't really fuck with a lot of it. But in regards to just saying, is in regards to promoting the message that men should focus in a bit more on the non-physical. I mean, that's not a bad message to promote, but I just don't know that that's not being done by intentional men. That's what I'm saying. What populace of men are we talking about? Are you talking about the men that are actively and openly playing the field? Or are you talking about men in relationships? Because I heard him bring up married men and men that have wives that they only with for the sex. And it's like, where are you getting your data and your statistics from? So that's all. Let's listen to the audio again, though. Let's listen to it.
Clip, and then I'll come back on the other side.
A lot of heterosexual men don't like women for real. They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what a woman is outside of her sexual organs. So then when we get into why a lot of men womanize, or why it's just they're minimizing a woman based off of who she slept with or who she potentially can sleep for, it, because it's like you haven't gained the appreciation of the wholeness of a woman yet, and what that wholeness of a woman can bring to your life. A lot of times we'll talk about strength and we'll say men are stronger than women. But that's because we value physical strength. We're not talking about emotional strength, spiritual strength. Yeah. We're not talking about the type of strength that can run a household. And we're not putting that same type of weight. And what I would encourage, and this was the shift that I had to do, is I had to start liking the wholeness of a woman outside of sex. And then when you do that, now you appreciate the things a complete woman can bring to your life. When we talk about the Bible talks about finding a capable wife, right? That capable wife, that person that if you was to stumble, can pick up the ball and start running. And there's a lot of men that have just a wife because they was only concerned about what she can do in the bed. Yeah. And so what I'm just encouraging men to do is just like, and it's for our own benefit, because a lot of us, especially men with some type of means, we end up finding a dependent, not a partner. Yeah, she can fuck us good, but
no, he got it. Yeah, y'all. Yeah, no. He said dependent, not a partner. Well, that's part of the issue too. We got to stop looking for partners. You know, men that are trying to be husbands, they should be looking for wives, not partners. You know, and a wife isn't a dependent. There's these conversations go one extreme to the next. Let me lock in real quick. We good with the audio, but we good. These conversations, they tend to go from one extreme to the next. Chat. You know, it's like the woman need to be 100% in totality taken care of, or she got to be boss babe. Like, no, there's a whole bunch of middle ground. There's a ton of middle ground. Y'all just don't want to discuss it. Why? For clicks, views, likes? Nah, we gonna crack these codes today. Cause the dudes that be pandering already irritate me. You know what I'm saying? Cause it's like, bro, you doing all this pandering, you saying all this shit that's hyper agreeable to the mass population of women, but then when motherfuckers look into what you got going on, you ain't got no wife on your arm. You not pulling up nowhere with a bride. So people gonna look at you like, you see what I'm saying? Like, you saying all this shit that's so agreeable to the mass populace of women. You got hyper visibility to, as far as we know, as far as your business, you running a successful business. So you got access to your pick of the litter, and this ain't a personal attack on them. But what I'm saying is, you can't help but to think about it. Like, bro, you so agreeable, but you ain't even locked nothing in. So it's hard for us to listen to you. You know what I mean? It's difficult because I disagree with most of what he said. After listening to it back, it's like, what you really talking about, bro? Men been appreciating the wholeness of women. I think the issue that men are having these days and why they kind of walking away from, you know, commitment on to a certain degree and shit like that, it's a couple of things. The level of cooperation, agreeability, submissiveness, kindness, and a natural nurturing spirit, meaning that she gets fulfillment from making you that sandwich at 2 a.m. Not just she'll drag herself out the bed and she'll do it, but she not like, nah, she happy to. You hungry? Niggas ain't asking for that much. They just want that back. That energy. They want that energy. Right now, they getting tough women. These women tough as hell. They say it's strength. It's really, hey, listen, it might be strength, but it end up translating like a lack of cooperation. It end up translating like, being disagreeable or argumentative. It might be strength. You too strong. Be a little weaker. How about that? You know what I'm saying? But if you're looking for a partner, then yeah, you do need a woman that's half man, half amazing. These dudes out here talking about they looking for partners. You're looking for a partner, then yeah, you do need a strong ass woman. You do need a woman that's gonna be hyper opinionated, that overtalk you sometime or think she got a better idea. Cause that's your partner. So y'all gotta sit down and deliberate everything. You can't call no shots. You gotta go make sure that she agree before you say hut hike. You feel me? So yeah, you what he talking about, he looking for, and what men that want to be husband is looking for, two different things. Then had the nerve to bring up a Bible, but ain't described a wife yet. Just talking about how men don't appreciate. How you know how we feel? We not like you, bro. You got tons of single women in your comments, gang. We not like you, bro. We not like you, bro. The shit you be talking about, we not like you. Let's go back. One more time, y'all. One more time.
They like women sexually, but they like women.
But I'm gonna let you guys listen to the clip and then I'll come back on the other side.
A lot of heterosexual men don't like women for real. They don't. They like women sexually, but they don't like women. They're not attracted to what a woman is outside of her sexual organs. So then when we get into why a lot of men womanize, or why it's just they're minimizing a woman based off of who she slept with or who she potentially can sleep for, it, because it's like you haven't gained the appreciation of the wholeness of a woman yet.
No. What is he talking about, chat? We got a paragraph in the chat. Hold on real quick. Hold on, let me see. What you say? I know a girl who schedules her mom in with church 3 times a week. And man, this man sounds like, I don't know. What do he mean by appreciate the wholeness outside of sex? It's a few hot takes mixed with pandering. Yeah. Like some of what he said is agreeable. Like men, like, okay, if he had to talk to a big room full of men and say, hey, men, make sure that when you're looking for a wife or somebody to spend your life with, you pay attention to the things that are beyond just the sexual aspect of the relationship when choosing your bride. That's generally good advice. Everything he said around that shit, though, was just straight pandering bullshit. What are you talking about? He making up shit, talking about most men, don't what men do you be around, bro? On my algorithm, men be when you ask men about what they like on all these podcasts and shit, and my algorithm, when you ask the men on the panel what they looking for in a woman, it go past sex really quickly. Generally, they talk about a woman who know how to be they peace, a woman who know how to be encouraging, a woman who is kind and gentle in nature. Like none of this stuff have to do with being in the boom boom room. So when he say most men and he just throw that out there, like that's pandering bullshit. And that's why I say Ace Metaphor, hey, congratulations for all your success, bro, for sure. I'm nobody's hater, but I don't agree with him either. Like two things could be true at once. Like I said, I got a stack of the cards up here in my studio. I got a stack of the cards, a couple stacks of the cards here in my studio. Went to the event. He runs a good business. He got a good podcast, but it's a lot of pandering bullshit. It's a lot of that. And the thing about it is, yeah, you're going to be able to monetize a particular audience. We know who that demographic is. Let me lock in. You're going to be able to monetize a particular audience. We know who that demographic is. But at the same time, socially, from a sociological standpoint, are you really helping? Because what you're doing is you being a male mascot for females to stay on their bullshit that they own and not solve the problems that are getting in the way of them being able to sustain long-term relationships with a good, decent man, or even helping them keep their skewed perspective of what a good, decent man even looks like. A lot of women need a reality check on what a good, decent man for them, individual case basis, looks like. It's a very cookie cutter, definition of what a good man is to too large of a percentage of our women. It should be different from woman to woman. They should have an understanding. Well, to me, when you ask a woman, you should get a to me answer. To me, that's when it's the you versus y'all. When you ask a group of women what a good man is, we should get some things that are similar in all their answers, and we should get some small variations based on the woman that she knows she is. Because if you ask 10 different men what a good woman is, you're going to get some similarities, right? But then you're going to get some things that are different. Some men like women that are a little bit more social and like friendly and outgoing based on their profession. They need a woman that know how to move in a room, etc. Some men like women that are quiet, to themselves, reserved. Some men, that's what I'm saying. We get past the physical stuff, there's nuances to this. So I think the fact that the numbers show that a majority of women like a small percentage of men also shows why the numbers show that the success rate in relationships is so bad, because you got people that are dealing with each other on a completely superficial basis. So that's why I say when he said, we have to be, but he's talking about a small group of men though. He's not talking about your average man. Like, I don't know any men who only go after women just for how they look. I have never come across any. I seen dudes get big girls that was cool a chance. I seen dudes that give chicks that wasn't even they type a chance just off something else, something intangible that drew them. So I can't say that I agree with this guy. But
classic codes, I ain't taking it slow. Forgive me, Lord, I woke up in that mode. Weathered the winters when left in the cold. Hardened my heart and now